Okay, so if anyone of you don't have access to this drive, please let me know. Okay, so now let's go to today's agenda. So we will complete the remaining data stage fundamentals with today's session. Okay, so we have discussed up to different types of links, right? Loading mechanism. Okay, yeah. So different types of links. Up to we discussed here in yesterday's session. Okay. So now let's move on to the next phase. Next phase. So that is parallel processing environment. Okay. So data stage works on parallel processing environment. Okay. So parallel processing is the main thing where data will be diverted into various nodes. Okay. So here the system architecture is designed. The data will be deviated into multiple multiple partitions. Okay, so how to create a partition? How okay, so how we can diversify various partition while running the ETL jobs? We'll see one by one in upcoming sessions. Okay, so here main focus on is here, like for example, I'm extracting 1 million records. So here I can divide 100 like 4 pipelines. Then what happens here? So data will be deviated into 4 channels. Okay. So for example, if you have one channel, okay, so then what happens here? So the data normally the water flow will be very, I mean, it will be very slow. So if you have 4 channels, then what happens? The speed will automatically increase. The flow of the water will increases, right? Similarly, data stage also having the similar features where, for example, I want to divide the data into different partition techniques. Okay. So here what happens, the data will be deviated into multiple partitions, like 4 nodes. Okay. So then the data retrievals also will be faster. So here, this parallel processing environment works on 2 systems. One is SMP system, other one is MPP system. Okay, so here, if we don't process the data into parallel mode, normally it will consider default unprocessed sequential mode. So sequential mode execution. Okay, so execution of data stage job has been classified into 2 types. One is sequential mode, other one is parallel mode. So what is sequential mode? Basically, it's a unprocessed data. Unprocessed. Unprocessed. Okay, so here there is no, the memory will be divided into partitions here. Here. Okay, so it won't do any partition, just sequential mode. When you consider parallel mode, the same memory, whatever we have, that will be allocated into different partitions. That means a node. Each partition here will be calling it as a node. So when I divide it into 4 partition, what happens? The data, as soon as it is being extracted, it will go to any of the node. So it will keep on extracting data, then the data retrieval will be faster when compared to unprocessed data. Okay, unprocessed data. So here, what are the ways that we can process the data? I mean, SMP and MBP. Okay, so what is SMP? What is MPP? So we will discuss one by one. Okay. So normally, if you are facing any issues with the laptop, okay, so you can join the class with mobile also. Okay. Right. So now what is this SMP? SMP means symmetric multiprocessing. MPP means massively parallel processing. So here what happens in SMP? SMP we can divide the CPU into how many nodes, how many partitions. So here I use the word term node. Node and partition both are same. Okay. So here I can divide it into four partitions, the maximum that we can do in SMP system. Okay. So how many ways that we can do in MPP system? 64 ways of parallelism. So that means we need to deal with heavy volume of data. Especially if you're working on a telecom domain, you need to deal with the data millions only, millions and billions. Sometimes we need to extract the records billions because you will be having the data of customers related to all your call records. When is the call has been started? When is the call has been ended? What is the duration? So normally, how many times you will make a call? So let's take an example. Let's take my phone. So how many calls I have made yesterday? So I'm checking my phone now. Similarly, you can check your phone. How many calls you have made yesterday? Okay. So I'm checking my phone. One, two, three, four, five, six. Six calls I have made. Okay. So there will be start time and end date. And also you will be receiving incoming calls. Okay. So normally Saturday and Sunday it will be I will do a lot of calls. That is secondary thing. So how many incoming calls I received? Let me check my call log. Okay. So one, two, three, four, five, five, six, seven. Seven calls I received. Okay. So here in like system has to capture all your incoming calls as well as outgoing calls. Okay. So normally they will send if you're using postpaid number. Okay. So then what happens here? The post you will be having all the entries. Okay. So outgoing calls, incoming calls, both will be there in your bill. Okay. So here, when you deal with heavy volume of data, so we need to do this partitioning. So then only the data loading will be faster. Okay. So here SMP system, we can divide the CPU into four partition. In MPP system, here we can divide it into 64 ways of parallelism. Okay. So how we can divide this into partition? What is the mechanism that we are going to use in data stage? Okay. So here to support this four ways of parallelism that is SMP and 64 ways of parallelism that is MPP, what we are supposed to do is we need to create a nodes, right? So where we will create the nodes? We'll create the nodes in configuration file. Okay. So what is a configuration file? So configuration files provides it's a degree of parallelism. Okay, so here configuration file provides details of node allocation for a particular project array job. For a particular project array job. Okay. So here different configuration files are there. So what are the different configuration files? There are one node configuration file, two nodes configuration file, three node. So normally three node won't be declared. For one node, two node, four node. Okay. Up to how many nodes we can give? We can use 64 nodes in SFP. Sorry, MPP. MPP you can give max 64. SFP you can give only maximum 4. Okay. So this configuration file provides hardware configuration for supporting the architecture. This one SMP and MPP. Okay. So now let's see the syntax for the configuration file. We need to declare the syntax. Okay. So So in the syntax, what are the components are there? Okay, so what are the components of the configuration file? So this is a standard interview question. What is a configuration file? Configuration file is provides the details of node allocation to a particular project. So configuration provide default, it will have two nodes, one node and four nodes based on the project requirement. So what are the components of configuration file? So node pool, this is the one component, and the second one is fast name. Okay. So this the fast name is nothing but the server name. Okay. So our server is India PC. Our server is India PC. Okay. And the next one is resource disk. So what is the resource disk? So resource disk is nothing but, so here we have the concept of storing the data for a temporary allocation purpose in data sets. So here the data sets data will be stored in the resource disk. So what is a scratch disk? Scratch disk is nothing but for the logging information. For example, if you are performing any ETL process, so the data will be stored in the ETL log. Okay. Okay, so these are the configuration file components. Okay, four components. Okay, you need to memorize this. So node pool means it contains the number of nodes allocating to that particular project or a file. Okay, and the next thing is here we are focusing on fast name. So what is meant by fast name? So fast name is nothing but define node host name or IP address. So then generally it will be uh, the host name. Okay. So normally for any system we have the host name, right? Similarly, when you install DataStage on a server, so that will be the host name here. And resource disk. Resource disk means, so that is a disk directories that is accessible to the each node. So how to check whether the data is allocated to each node, that we will see in the DataStage designer. Okay. And scratch disk is temporary allocation for the scratch memory. For example, if you run a job, so what happens? The log will be triggered. Okay. So once the job is run successfully, then automatically it will be deleted. Okay. So these are the components of the configuration file. Okay. So now let's see allocation of nodes for a default configuration file. So normally our VM comes defaults with two nodes. Okay, so development and testing environment will have two nodes. Pre-production will have four nodes, and production will have maximum eight nodes. There that can be increased. Okay, so this is the default that I'm saying. So here in my experience, where I used to create eight nodes, is one of the requirement. Like I need to deal with the 30 millions of records on day-to-day basis. Okay, so to process the data faster and load it, we need to load it into a Oracle table. And I need to do the validation with few other tables in other source systems. Okay, so here the data loading, it will be very slow if you use two nodes. So to handle the 30 million records means it is almost what 30 million records means how much? It's almost 30 crores, right? So 1 million is equal to 10. 10 millions is, yeah, 3 crores records. Sorry. So 3 crores records we need to handle, extract from source and load it into a table. So in that 3 crores, I mean like 5 million records will be dropped off. Almost 50 lakhs records will get dropped off of the rejections. Okay, so invalid records. So that also we need to capture and share it back with the source string. Okay, so they will investigate further and they will reprocess those records in the next day or day after next day, like that. Okay. So here, each environment wise, we can allocate the nodes. Okay. So let me check whether data stage is, whether we can open data stage or not. So if I show you practically, then you can understand better. Just a minute. Yeah. It's opening. Okay. So any questions till now? So here you can see the diagrams. Okay. One node, what is the CPU memory, and four nodes, how the CPU has been into shared memory. So any doubts, any questions so far?
Jesse, who will be defining the configuration file? Is it a developer's work or admin work?
Majority it will admin. Admin is the responsibility. So we need to raise a request for him, like I need to increase the capacity. Okay. Yeah, admin is the responsible for that, and we need to raise an incident for him. Okay, so without any incident ticket, they won't work because they are into infrastructure support, right? So they need a tracking effort. So how many incidents has been raised by each team? So they'll be having each project wise. Will be having a group ID, LDAP ID or something. Okay.
So based on the data load, will it be decided? Like how
Mm.
many nodes?
Yes, yes, correct. So they will only suggest. I'm handling this much of volume of data. Okay, so then he will suggest to go for this four node or six node. And then he will ask the raise a incident boss with all your details. So then he will create the config file for you in all the environments. So that you need to map in the job. Okay, during the runtime. Okay.
So it's a project specific, right? Not the job specific. Like
Yes, it depends upon case by case. Correct.
okay.
So normally project specific default will be two nodes. Okay, so even for production environment also it will be two nodes or four nodes. Okay, it will be increased when you deal with if you are dealing data with less than 1 million. What happens? They will suggest to go for two nodes only. Okay, and also they will consider this the job runtime when you are running the job. So normally first 6 working days or 7 working days, the systems are very busy because so they are focusing on running the jobs, on billings, vendor payments will be there. Okay. So based on the scheduling of the job, they will decide which node to be we can consider. If it is running daily, then they will go for they will suggest to use two node only. Okay. So on accounting days, if there is any delay, that is okay. If the data is less than 1 million, right? Yeah. So job will complete fast. If it is more than 1 million, 2 million, I mean, like 2 million, 3 million data, then they have to increase the node capacity. Okay. Yeah. So any other questions? So whether we work. So this is the launch pad. You need to click on this to open data stage. Okay. So here you can see the icons. Okay. So just wait for a few seconds. Okay. So once you see these icons now, then we are good to open data stage. Okay. So now click on designer. Okay, log in with the password. Yeah, click on yes. So here past project is like analyzer project. Okay, India PC. So this is the host name, India PC colon 9443. Okay, so just a second. Okay, so please install your VM in other than C drive. Okay, so here I have kept in G. So here I have kept data stage master. So this is the dump. Okay, so this is the one where I am mapping the file, 4 KB file. Okay. And don't keep in any other drives like apart from, so you can keep either D, E, or how many drives you have. So don't keep in C drive. So C drive should be more free space. So if you have more free space, then your system will work fine. Okay, so it's connected. Now let's see the configuration file. Okay, so go to tools. So this is a designer client. Okay, so here we are focusing on the development activity, building jobs, parallel jobs, and sequence jobs, and all. Okay, so now let's see. So go to tools, configuration, configuration file, right? Okay, and here you can see the nodes, one node, four node, default. So what is default here? What does this default says? So defaults means two nodes. Okay, so here let's open running nodes. So here you can see. So this is the syntax. So this is the node one. Okay. So this is the syntax. Node two. Okay. And if you want to add node three, node four means then copy this. Node three. Okay. And node 4. So like that, you need to add. And you need to copy this, the syntax. Okay. For example, if you want to add node 6, again node 4, again you need to copy like this, node 5. Right. Similarly, okay. So this is node 6. Copy this, and if you want to create a new node, go here. Okay. So click on new. Okay. In real-time environment, this is admin job. Okay. So this is admin duty. So just for your knowledge sake, I'm sharing this information. So click on save. You need to save this. So 6 node. Okay. Click on OK. So this has been saved. Okay. And if you want to use the job, if you want to use this in the job, you can use. Okay. So how to use it in the job, that we will see in the practical sessions. Okay. So these are the syntax. So this is the standard syntax. Okay. Someone asked questions. Will you show me how to download on my MacBook tomorrow? Yeah, yeah. I will take care of it, madam. Okay. Now so any questions here? Any questions so far regarding configuration file?
I just wanted to know. Only the nodes will be changing, right? The body inside that node one, node two, it will be same always, right?
Yeah, it will see. We'll declare the different node file .atp. Okay. So while mapping in your job, so you need to choose that environment file. Apt config file, one parameter is there. So with that parameter, we are going to pass the which value need to be taken in during the runtime.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So there is a session on how we can pass the nodes during the runtime. Okay. So that time we will discuss. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm. Now let's move on to this pipeline parallelism concepts in data stage. So this is very, very important concept. So you may face at least 2 to 3 interview questions in this topic. Parallelism. Okay, so what are the parallelism? So parallelism has been classified into two types basically. So one is pipeline parallelism, other one is partition parallelism. So what is pipeline parallelism? Pipeline parallelism is keep on extracting the data and sending the data to the next stage continuously. Okay. So here you can see the example here. So data source, transformer, and data target. So here data being extracted continuously until it is keep on sending until the last record being extracted. So it won't wait all the records being extracted. As soon as one record getting extracted, it will distribute the data into partitions. Okay, to the next stage it will send. Okay, and next we have this partition method. So in partition method, partition parallelism. So what it will do, it will distribute the data into various partitions. The partition that we are going we choose. Okay, so now let's see. We have various partition methods. Okay, so what are those various partition methods? The first partition methods are round robin partition. So round robin partition here, what it will do, I have 16 records in my input. My project is running in 4 nodes. Okay. So now how you can see the data is being distributed. Here, first record will go to the first node, and the second record will go to the second node. Third record will go to the third node. Fourth record will go to the fourth node. And fifth record again first node. Sixth record second node. Like that, it will follow the order until all the records being extracted and send it to the nodes. Okay, so in the transformation section here. Okay, so in the transformation. So once it is being extracted, it will distribute the data like this in the various nodes in the data transformation stages. Okay, so this is one method. And second partition method is random partition. What do you mean by random? What do you meaning of random? So random means there is no particular order. So we cannot give which record will go to the which node, but data will be distributed equally among all the nodes. For example, in a previous round robin partition. So what happens here is basically I have 1 or 2 records are there. Okay, so how many records the each node will divide? So first node will contains 26 records, second node contains 26 records. Okay, and third and fourth node contains 25 records. So it will follow the order. Okay, so let's take an example of 18 records are there in my input. My job is running in 4 nodes. So here all 4 records equally distributed, right? 4, 4, 4, 4, 16. So there are 2 records are there, 17 and 18. 17 will go default to the first node only. 18 will go to the second node. So node 1 contains 5 records, node 2 contains 5 records, node 3 contains 4 records. Okay, node 4 contains 4 records. Node 3 and node 4 contains 4 records only, but node 1 and node 2 contains how many records? 5 records. 5, 5. 5, 5, 10. Node 3 and node 4 contains 4 records. That means 10 plus 8. How much? 18 records. Okay. But if you use random partition, we cannot assure like data will be distributed equally. But any of the 2 node contains 5 records. And other 2 nodes contains 4 records. So random is data will be distributed randomly. Okay. And the next one here, we have the same partition. So what happens when you use the same partition here? So same partition means the data should be in the same node. Okay, once it is being extracted, if you are performing any calculation, okay, so cumulative totals, the data should not get disturbed. It should be in the same node so that the calculation will be accurate. So that is the reason here we use this same partition. Okay, so how this same partition will work, we'll see in the practical sessions. Okay, now let's see entire partition. So here the same record, whatever I have from the input, I can distribute this particular records into all the nodes, whatever the nodes that I have defined in my input. I mean in the job. Okay, so I have 5 records in my input. I have job is running in 4 nodes. Then all the nodes contains of all the input records. 5 records should contain each node. Okay, so that is entire partition. So normally this entire partition is used in lookup reference tables. So here we have a lookup stage. Okay, so there we will discuss this entire partition. Okay, and next partition is a key based partition. It's a hash partition. So hash partition is to whenever I receive source data having the duplicate records. In that scenario where I can use hash partition to remove the duplicates. Okay, and the next partition here we have DB2 partition. So DB2, when I deal with DB2 tables data, it has its own algorithm where the data being extracted when you are using DB2 tables. So that is DB2 partition. And auto partition, if you don't define anything, So system will take auto partition. Let's design a sample job here. So I'm taking a file. Okay, so new parallel job. So here you can see, choose file here. I'm choosing this file. And the next, I want to dump the data into two files or two databases. Okay, so this is DB2. I need to pass another date Oracle. Okay, so just make drag and drop. Okay, so double click on copy stage. Here you can see the partitions. Okay, default, if I don't define anything, it will consider which partition. Here you can see input. See here, what is the partition it's showing. Default is auto. Auto is the best partition for the performance improvement. Okay, and next one, modulus. When I use modulus in my ETL job, I am performing any calculations, mathematical calculations. In that scenario, we'll use modulus partition. And the next one is range partition. Okay, so here range partition, when I use range partition, I have a data range in my one of the column. So I use the range partition so that the data will be segregated into various groups. Okay, so here you can see 0 to 2, 3 to 7. Okay, 18 to 25. So age groups like that. Okay, so this is the another. So generally we won't use this partition. Okay, so but here to use the range partition, you have to create a range map file. Okay, once it is created, then you have to use it in the job. Okay, so now let's go to data collecting method. So till now data is being distributed, right? Again, we need to collect back the data and load it into target. See here, round robin collector. So till now data is in transformation. Now it has to load it into a target. Okay, so let's check. Let's show you. So here I have. So this is the source. So this is the transformation. Okay. So this is the target. Okay. So let's connect the link. So this is the link. Okay. This is the another link. So here data being extracted here, it is in nodes. There is partition nodes. Again, we have to load the data into destination. Then distributed partition data, again, it has to collect back and load it into target. Okay. So here data has been distributed into partition. Again, it has to collect back and load it to the target. Okay. So here, what are the data collecting methods? Round robin collector. So if it is running in 4 nodes, it will pick one record from each node and load it into target. First record, and then second record, and then third record. Like that, it will load the data into target. Okay. Next one is order collector. So here order collector, it will collect all the records from first node, and once the first node gets completed, then second node, and then third node, like that. How many nodes are there? Okay. So here you can see this example. So here I have a file. So here in the file you can see partitioning, data collecting methods, auto. Okay. So here round robin, order, and next auto collecting methods is sort and sorted match. That we will see now. So this is the sorted match. So it will here it will sort the data based on the given key columns. Okay, it will sort the data based on the given key columns. And the next one is auto collector. Auto collector means what? Auto collector means if you don't define anything, system will take default auto collector. So here, let's see. If I don't define anything, I clicked on cancel. What is the method it will take? So let's see here. Partitioning. What is the method it is taking? Auto collector. What is the collection method? Auto collect, right? So this is the way how the data collection will happen and load the data into target. So here we have seen source and how the data being partitioned. Again, it perform all the ETL operation. Again, we had to collect back the data and load it to our destination. Okay, so by using data collecting methods. Okay, so any questions, guys, here?
Jesse, is that collector methods works for file stages or even for the database stages?
Only file stages it will work. If you see for databases, it will choose these partitions. Why? Because the reason is it will follow this partition technique, but data will be loaded into all the records will be loaded into tables only. So if you see the DB2 connector, let's see this. Go to input. What is general advanced partitioning? Here you can see. So why? Because databases has this partition mechanism, right? So that is the reason.
Okay.
Okay. So files, we don't have this partition mechanism, right? It will be collecting methods only, it will show. Yeah. And the next one is like, these are the best partition allocation in each stage. Okay, so data stage. Stage means here, it's a processing activity or a passive stage or active stage. So here, which partition is used when? Okay, so this is, so my recommendation for you, so you can refer this slide 36 once we get completion of the course. Okay, so here, let's see. So I will maximize this. For example, if you want to work on join, merge, remove duplicates, sort, change data capture, change apply. So majority of the cases we use hash partition. For lookup main streaming, we will use either hash or a same. If you use same, what happens is like the data will be, sometimes it will, duplicates may occur. Okay. Now let's see here, merge. So merge also, merge, remove duplicate, sort, we can use hash partition, hash or modulus. Okay. And for funneling, copying the data. Okay, funneling means combining two or three tables. Okay, minimum two tables around above. Combine all the input links and load it into one output link. Then in that case, we can go for same partition. So data will be in the same node. For filtering, data filtering, transformation. Okay. So these are the collecting methods. Okay. Yeah. So any questions, guys? So tomorrow onwards, we'll start the actual practical sessions. Okay. So we'll take some sample files and we'll implement the practical sessions. Okay. So I hope I have given access for software download. Okay. So you need to click on the link, share with me. Okay. So in this share with me link, okay, so you can have folder, whatever the folder that I'm going to give access. Okay. So share with me. Here you can see DataStage underscore VM. So this is the one. This is the folder. Okay. So here, this is the installation steps document. Okay. So first you need to download this 29 GB file. Right click, download. Okay. And first step is in here, you need to download this file. You will receive an email. Okay. So this is the email that you will receive. Okay. So once your enrollment gets completed, then only I will give you access. You will receive an email for downloading. Okay. Okay, so you need to download this 29 GB file and install WinRAR in your laptop. You need to install WinRAR. So WinRAR is a software where it is like a kind of zipping can be done. Okay, so if you don't have install WinRAR, please install WinRAR in your laptop. Okay, if already installed, then ignore. Okay, and step 2, once it is downloaded, what we can do is, so we need to extract this file. Particular, for example, it's a zip file. So that it is being extracted. So here you can see, so this is a zip file, right? IBM DataStage study material. Okay. So click on extract to this file. Okay. So once you click on this, here you can see the folder like this. This is the one. Okay. So here we have this study material. Like that, similarly, we have the DataStage software inside. So that you need to copy it to either not in C drive, apart from C drive, either D or E or F or G. Okay. And you need to copy the downloaded file also. Both has to be copied. Okay. And step 3 is you need to go to the drive and download this one, workstation, VMware workstation full version, this one. Download this one and install the VMware. Okay. So once you download this and click on this, so it will ask, it will allow you to install. Okay. So here is the executable file. It will be installed, and you need to enter the licensing keys. Okay. I'll be sharing this installation steps document and followed by the video. You need to follow the video and as well as this document. So then only can install by yourself. Okay. And the fourth step is once you enter the licensing license after installing, once you enter the licensing license, then the license. So this is license keys. Okay. So the next one is here. After installation, here you can see a desktop icon, VMware workstation, like this. Let me show you. This is the one, VMware workstation. Okay. Then go to files, click on open. Fourth step. Go to files, click on open. Okay. And fifth step is go to the extracted file where you kept it, apart from C drive. Okay. If you kept in D drive, go to D or E. If you kept in E, go to E. If you kept in F, go to F. If you kept in G, kept in, if you kept in G drive, then go to G. So the next is map this one. Okay. OKB file. Okay. So once the mapping is done, then here you can see 6th step what happens. It will open like this. Click on power on virtual machine. 6th step. Okay. 7th step is sometimes you'll install the latest version. That is not required. Always remind me later. Don't click on download and install. Okay. Remind me later, you can choose. The next one is 8th step. So choose always India in the VM. Okay. And the 9th step is for the first time, the internet connectivity should setup and all need to be done. It will be auto done. Automatically it will done. Always choose home network or okay, work network. Don't click on public network. Okay. So click on home or work network. Okay. So that is step 9. Okay. So in the video, I have clearly explained you. Okay. And the 10th, once the internet is stable, then click on the services. Okay, so once you see these services, DB2 copy should be in start mode. If you see my system here, you can see this server. So DB2 copy should be in start mode. Okay, so once it's at start mode and wait for 15 minutes. Okay, so meantime, your laptop, I mean like VMware, it will ask you for restart when you're doing the installation of first step. Please continue with the restart and follow the same India again. Okay, and follow the same process from step 6 onwards. Okay, choose India. Okay, from there. Okay, once you restart. So here wait for 10 to 15 minutes. Once again, it started with the DB2 connect, DB2 copy in started mode. Then step 11 is once you waited for 15 to 20 minutes. So then open VMware this launchpad. So this is the one. So this is the one. InfoSphere launchpad. Okay. So click on open there. Right click, double click on this. So here I will show you one more time. So it will take just few seconds. It is taking more than expected. So you have to see the icons like this, okay? In ForcePair, yeah. Now click on continue. Okay. So click on continue here. Continue to this website. Not recommended is there, right? Click on that one. Okay. So once you click on like this, here you can see the icons. So here we have icons, right? The similar way icons we can see here. Okay. So then only you can open DataStage. It may be designer, director, and all. Okay. So here you can see the icons. Then only we are good to open the icons. Okay. Yeah, here the VMware is installed in India. Okay. So we have to choose India only. Okay, so then click, see here I have given the steps. Okay, you need to follow this. Okay, then once you see these icons, then in step 12, you need to log in into any other clients like designer, director, and admin client. Okay, so now let's see how we can install database. So here what you can do is go to how to connect to DB2 database. Okay, so now I need to install SQL DBX. Okay, so now go to google.com, SQL DBX personal edition. Click on this. Okay, type in the Google SQL DBX personal edition. Click on this. Click on the first link. So here download the latest version of SQL DBX. Okay. Go a little bit up. So here you can see download got completed. Okay. right click, extract to this SQL DBX. Now click on this. Okay, copy this folder. Go to VM. Go to C drive. Copy here. Okay, since already I have copied, so I'm not copying again. So here double click on this. The next step is open this first one, application. Okay. So here in the application, here you need to choose DB2 login details. Okay. So here choose DB2 LUM, and here the servers, here you can choose Xmeta. Okay. And the username and password are the blank. Click on remember password, click on OK. Okay. So once you click on OK, so what you can do is like right click on this, make sure right click on this, make sure pin this program to this taskbar. So once you click on this, what happens? It will be available here. Okay. So click on close it. So you can open whenever you want. Okay. So it will open just 2 minutes. So this is for SQL DB2 installation. So our database is DB2. Okay, so already we have pressed remember password, right? Then it will log into. Okay, so here we have the schema DSADM. So when you install, when you have done your first exercise, now you can see the tables here. Okay, so DSADM for you it won't visible now. We need to do the first exercise from DataStage and load it to a table, any table. So then you can see that this particular schema. So that we will see in tomorrow's session. Okay, so that you can see in the tomorrow's first session. Up to here you can install. Okay, so that's it, guys, for today. So any questions for me? So don't miss the sessions from tomorrow onwards. So tomorrow onwards, actual lab sessions will start. Okay, so you have to be very focused. Okay, so pay attention 1 hour. Okay, and once the class gets completed, you have to practice the similar exercise what we are doing in the sessions. So we are supposed to cover 90 assignments, right? That we will cover in the practical classes. Okay. Yeah, right. So that's it for me today.
Hi sir, I have one question.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's about partitioning. So
Okay.
previous example you have selected the copy stage, right?
Yeah,
Suppose
yeah,
we chose the partition method as a hash, right?
yeah.
And the next subsequent sequential file, is it mandatory to choose the same partition method as we selected in a copy stage?
Not required. You
Not
can
required.
choose. Yeah, you can allow it to default. Not required. It's not mandatory until unless there is a specific reason. Okay, so it's not mandatory.
Okay.
Yeah. So any other questions, guys? No? Okay then. Thank you all.